One of the people in the audience last night was a local congressman, Bera, who, and Congressman Bera, welcome. So many times when you've been in studio with us, you have pointed out your lapel pin, no labels. And after a night where we saw half the audience stand up sometimes and half the audience stand up at other times, it's a good time to stop and maybe talk more than we usually do about your organization. Tell us about No Labels.
Absolutely. You know, we all should be standing up as Americans. You know, our organization, the No Labels and the Problem Solvers, really is a group that we started 2 years ago. We grew it to close to 100 members. We've still got over 70 members of Congress. It's bipartisan, and it's about coming together as Democrats and Republicans to address the challenges that our country faces.
You know, I think everybody hopes that will happen if they can agree on good policy, certainly. I read the headlines this morning following the State of the Union last night. A Reuters headline says, Obama strikes defiant tone with Republicans in big speech. USA Today said the State of the Union is partisan. Was that a feeling in the room last night, and what is it that you guys can do about it?
Well, so the president's laid out his agenda and his ideas of how we address the country's challenges. You know, let's look to the Speaker of the House and Leader Mitch McConnell to lay out the Republican agenda, and then let's sit down as Democrats and Republicans, let's negotiate, because we can agree on some of these big ideas. You know, one of our national strategic agenda items is balancing the budget by 2035. You know, let's go ahead and rebuild the middle class, but let's also make sure we don't add to the debt.
Wow, well, you know, amen. It is certainly nice to hear that. The president, well, in fact, in general, and last night, once again, I think, made it very clear there are some big things on the Republican agenda that he's just said in advance, I'm going to veto that. And whether it's the Keystone Pipeline project or whatever. How do you move forward in a bipartisan way when lines are so clearly drawn in some of these areas?
Well, and again, we can't just have these lines in the sand. What we've got to do is say, okay, here's my starting point, here's the Republican starting point. Let's now sit down and find that common ground, the things that we can agree on. The president talked about rebuilding infrastructure. Well, this week we're going to drop a bill, the Partnership to Build America, which has strong bipartisan support. You know, let's start there. You know, we all know we need to rebuild our roads, highways, bridges, puts people to work. You know, it's bipartisan. Let's build on the things that we all agree on.
And you know, looking through your organization, again, the No Labels organization, among your major bullet points are, as you said, balancing the federal budget, making Medicare and Social Security secure. Those are often the third politics, and we wish you the best in doing that. It'd be good for all of us. We have to go, Doctor. Before we do, though, I was just reading a separate issue this morning. You're going to be making a trip to India with the president, yeah?
Yeah, you know, I'll join the president on his trip to India this Friday. You know, this is a chance to open up the Indian markets. You know, it's good for California. It's good for Sacramento. We've been advocating, you know, agriculture is a major commodity for us. Let's figure out this trading relationship. You're talking about 1.25 billion consumers in India. It'll be good if we can pull off some of these trade deals.
Nice to have you on from so far away, and it's always great to have you in the studio. When you're back home, we will see you next time. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Paul.
You bet. Congressman Bera, the only Indian American serving in Congress right now, and he'll be going with the president off to India here. 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's get to Sheldon Orvis. And